Marketers talk a lot about value. Value is the fundamental core of what marketing is. The two components of a marketing strategy are 1. Target markets, and 2. Value propositions. In other words, marketing is about creating value in target markets. There are actually 3 types of value propositions. 1. Customer value props. 2. Company value props. And 3. Collaborator value props. I'll focus on the first, how value is created for customers. Value is largely an elusive term, open to interpretation. It doesn't always have to be this way, however. It's actually possible to quantify value. Doing so can convince customers to work with you. I'll start with some B2B examples. One of the simplest ways you create value is by lowering your customers' costs. When you decrease a customer's costs, you have directly added to their profits. The other simple way you can add value is by adding to their revenue. The issue here is that for every dollar you add to revenue, you only add a fraction to profits. So value is really the incremental profit added, not the revenue per se. So let's say you have an energy-efficient light bulb for factories. Compared to a regular light bulb, it might save the company $10,000 per year in expenses. But wait a second. Is the customer really comparing your product to a regular light bulb? Probably not. They're probably looking at other energy-efficient light bulb providers. Maybe your best competitor is able to save them $8,000 per year in expenses. So in actuality, your value is $2,000 over and above the next best alternative. In total, you save the company $10,000 per year, so would they be willing to pay $10,000 per year for your product? Well, no, because they don't really benefit in that case. They're paying the full price for the benefit. We also haven't accounted for the total cost of ownership. You see, the cost to the company isn't just price of the product. It's also the time and resources required to switch over to your product, have it installed, and have it maintained. There's also risk involved with this process and downtime. So there's no way a company will pay $10,000. Maybe they'll pay $5,000. Here is an example. You are able to save a company in various ways. You lower their electricity costs, their labor costs, and their oil costs. Your competitor can lower these costs as well. In fact, it does a better job than you do at saving on labor costs. Overall, you save the company more money, so you should be able to win the contract and even charge a higher price. Here is an example of an actual value proposition I worked on for a software product. You can see that value comes from 3 main sources: savings through inventory, savings through automation, and savings through returns. By far the biggest driver of value is the savings that come from reducing the number of returns. I want to use this opportunity to explain the difference between positioning and value propositions. You can see here clearly, using math, that value comes from different sources, but one of those sources is a far bigger contributor. As a marketer, you would probably want to position your brand around that one big contributor, but that's only part of the value proposition. In the 2 examples I gave, value comes directly from cost savings, but the entire value proposition could include incremental profits rather than reduced costs. You would simply add that to the cost savings. There are other factors that could be added as well that cannot be quantified. Perhaps the fact that you have a trusted brand, a great user interface, and friendly customer service.